Welcome back to the coverage of Premier League Darts, brought to you live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Plenty of live coverage of darts in 2025 and plenty of other content as well, featuring the big news, views and interviews. And we're going to get the views of Chris Mason alongside me, Chris Murphy, to reflect on what's happened so far. Night 13 in Birmingham. Started, Mace, with a win for Luke Littler, 6-5 against Stephen Bunting. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I fancied it to be close, and it was. Well, it couldn't have been any closer. 6-5, a bounce out in the penultimate throw for Bunting, costing him dearly. Yeah, just about the right winner, Littler, I suppose. Aspinall Dobey was really disappointing, but again, the only thing I'm shocked with was Dobey's level of play. He knocked in 205 averages on the European Tour at the weekend. Did lose a match with 105 average, but things like that, you just sort of, he lost to the winner.
Yeah, was a slow burner, that one, wasn't it? But that can't be said of Luke Humphries versus Gerwyn Price. Yeah,
that was special. I could have just sat that and watched that leg after leg after leg. They gel so nicely, them two. It was a fabulous game, and another one. Listen, we say it all the time now, especially in the Premier League. Players walking away thinking, "How did I not win that?" He had ultimately could have won it 6-0, and lose his 6-side. But
with a 107 average, by the way.
107.48. It was a lovely performance from Humphries. And ultimately as a player, you can go up to him and go, "Oh, wow, you did average 107." It matters, it doesn't matter. It's like a 9-dart leg is the same as a 29-dart leg. It's just a leg. And then Rob Cross again. I don't know quite know what. I can't put my finger on what's wrong with Rob Cross at the moment. Did have the weekend off. Has he not played a lot? You would think you would leave coming into this stage of the Premier League in the position he's in. You would leave no stone unturned, would you? And I think Michael's been the one who's been putting in the work whilst not travelling, because at times he looked very, very good. 60% on his doubles, 95 plus average. Will it be enough to beat Price in this form? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it's about putting it together for a sustained period of time, isn't it, for Michael van Gerwen at the moment? But it will be him against Gerwyn Price in the second semi-final. Before that, we'll bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of Luke Littler against Nathan Aspinall. Two players who know each other well, but Nathan Aspinall does not have a good record against Luke Littler, does he?
No, just the one win in the Premier League last year, and it was very early. It might have been, what would that have been, night 2 or something like that in the Premier League, and got a 6-3 win over him. But outside of that, it's all been Littler. They've met in a World Series darts event, 6-3 win. Ultimately, it's all been the Premier League, except the big meeting between the two was in the World Championship. That's the biggest meeting, and in fairness, in the early stages of that, Aspinall was okay. He lost 5-2 in the end, but yeah, it's predominantly Premier League matches where he's just and they're convincing wins. A couple of 6-5s, but 6-3, 6-3, 6-2, 6-1, 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. So he's just that little bit too good for him.
Yeah, important wins for Aspinall, Price and Van Gerwen, all chasing a playoff spot. Defeat won't really matter to Luke Humphries, Luke Littler. Victory or defeat wouldn't have mattered anyway. But what tonight has done is it's effectively confirmed Bunting and Dobey's elimination. Has it condemned Rob Cross as well?
Yeah, for me, he had to win tonight. For me, I think they're hard enough to win, not when you have to win them. And the beauty with Littler, though Humphries was defeated, he played beautifully, and that's because he's playing with a certain element of freedom, knowing that, listen, 26 points, the way things are panning out, that's safe for me. I can't see him. He may get squeezed into, if he lost first round in all of them that are remaining, which the form he's in, I don't think is possible. He still qualifies on 26. 26 was enough last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. 25 the year before. Rob Cross stays on 14 points, and that's a long way adrift when you consider that Van Gerwen, Aspinall and Price have all picked up points tonight.
Exactly that. So they're just going to gap him, and it's so hard to close the gap in this Premier League. There's only 5 points on offer, isn't there? It's tough, but it's tough for a reason. It's meant to be tough. It's it's meant to be the best players in world darts right now, and it's never you're never going to have an easy night.
Yeah, the kind of ideal final would be Aspinall versus Van Gerwen, wouldn't it, for the neutral?
Yeah, for the table as well.
Absolutely, but a tough task to try and defeat Luke Littler for just a second time in his career, Nathan Aspinall. And out of all of the winning quarter-finalists, was he the least convincing, Aspinall?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was a shaky performance. There was no real rhythm to it, and in fairness, it was, Dobey just didn't ask him any questions, did he? That's as poor as I've seen Dobey. Looking at Littler, his last competitive match, lost to MVG 6-5. Semi-final, of course, on that Euro Tour 4. Lost to Van Veen 7-4. Averaged 95. The match before that beat Peter Wright 6-5. Wasn't convincing. Averaged 95. And he's just, there's just something not quite right with his game at the moment. Of course, we know players can turn it round in the blink of an eye, but I'm not sure how hard he's working at his game at the moment. Like I said, he travelled up to Scotland Friday, and 3 tough days playing exhibitions, sometimes doing 2 in a day. Not the ideal preparation for me, but I think he can get away with it because he made such a fabulous start to the Premier League. Not won a night in 4. That would concern me if I was his management and sponsor. He's regarded as the best player in the world at the moment, if not the world number 1. But I suppose he's in a privileged position that he's earned.
Yeah, 4 wins in the first 8 weeks, so won half of the first 8 and then hasn't won in the last 4, as you rightly say. But it doesn't really matter at this stage. We've seen it in the past, players qualify and then take the foot off the gas.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you finish as long as you're in the top 4. It really doesn't matter. And of course the semi-finals and finals at the O2 played over a longer format, which will suit him and arguably the rest of the field, and that's when you'll see him go through the gears like he did in 2024.
Nathan Aspinall and Luke Littler will play again next week, by the way. Quarter-finals in Leeds sees these two meet again. That's a tricky one for Aspinall, so important that he gets as many points as possible tonight. Michael Van Gerwen plays Luke Humphries, so it's no easier for him. No,
absolutely not, but I think we're seeing a lot of big numbers from Humphries at the moment. I don't think he's far away from either winning one of these, winning a Euro Tour. I love the look of the two Lukes in the World Cup. I know Luke Littler did say that he didn't really want to go back to Germany, but listen, that's spur of the moment. That's just reactive because he was disappointed how he was treated. Them two, I mean, what a fabulous pairing in the World Cup that's going to be.
Looking at fixtures as well, Rob Cross versus Gerwyn Price, quarter-final next week. Price,
horrible for Rob.
Yeah. Oh, are we saying that Price is pretty much home and hosed as well? You can't really see him not picking up more points, can you?
No, not the way he's playing at the moment. And
Stephen Bunting the week after.
Yeah, and this is a continuation from how beautifully Price played a week ago and averaged 105 for the night, and he wasn't quite at that levels, but not far off. So I think Price is. Listen, Gerwyn Price in terms of experience is fairly new to everything. What's he been around darts now? 8-9 years or something. It's not much more, is it? And I think he's coming to terms that right. I can't win everything I play, and I'm not going to play at my best. I've just got to sometimes I've just got to accept that I've got to win ugly.
Yeah, 2014 he got through a Q-School. The way I always remember it is Michael Van Gerwen won his first World Championship. A few weeks later, Gerwyn Price got through Q-School. Remarkable when you think of it like that. So it looks like, but we're saying quite confidently, Littler, Humphries, Price, they're going to be at the O2.
Yes.
So it's that battle for 4th and 5th that really is going to take the focus for the next few weeks. And it's interesting because tonight, obviously, both of them, Aspinall and Van Gerwen, are in separate semi-finals. They're in separate half of the draw next week. But that penultimate week, quarter-final, Michael Van Gerwen versus Nathan Aspinall.
And it could be that game.
And am I right in saying that in the final week, 4 plays 5 in the quarters?
Yes.
Yeah, so they could meet on both of those weeks, and those games could be decisive.
Yeah, I think only once in the history of the Premier League has MBG not failed to qualify for finals night at the O2. So
and Aspinall, of course, never has at the O2. He did behind closed doors, didn't he?
Yes.
When Glenn Durrant somehow won the Premier League title.
Or Milton Keynes.
Yeah, one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah, and that'll be something that really just gets him going. He's a determined character, isn't he, Nathan Aspinall?
Listen, I love the way he plays the game. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He plays with passion, and he leaves it all out there for the fans. When he just doesn't leave anything in the tank. He gives you all he's got, and I love that type of player.
Over a year, as Mace mentioned, since he beat Luke Littler.
And they've played a lot of matches.
Yeah, they've played 4 already this year, including on New Year's Day, of course, at the World Championship quarter-final. Littler won it 5-2.
Yeah, there's an interesting dynamic there. They're managed by the same person, and I should imagine it. Before Littler came along, he was the stable's top man, and I wonder if that gives him, I don't know, something to practice for. That's what gives him his drive and determination. Well,
you've been around dart players long enough. I've worked for a management stable. The top dog does not like it when they get replaced.
No, absolutely not. And it was something that MVG became or found quite hard to deal with, not being number one in the world, not being world champion. It irks him.
And of course Luke Humphries in the same management stable as him. But right now it's the first semi-final that is about to get underway in Birmingham. The new Littler taking on Nathan Aspinall.
It's the MGM Premier League, and this is our first Birmingham semi-final. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome back the players. The winner of the UK Open and US Darts Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, a Euro Tour winner, a winner of the World Match Play. Time to welcome back the Asp, Nathan Aspinall.
Right, mate, I'm going to put out an opinion now.
Oh, go on.
We know that fans have got het up about repetitive matches. You know what's worse than repetitive matches? Repetitive music. I'm making a call here live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel that players in the Premier League should submit 3 different walk-in songs.
I like that idea. I like that.
You've got your quarter-final one, your semi-final one, and your final. And we're not hearing the Killers for the 47th time this season.
Well, the chances, we've told you the head-to-head, it's 11-1. Statistically, the chances of Littler winning are over 60%, which I would have expected to be higher.
Yeah, big goal, certainly the top level. You expect Aspinall to need the A game and Littler to drop to maybe C or D. But he's lapping it up as always.
Well, I'm of the thinking that, listen, if Littler doesn't practice as much as we believe, when he's won one match, that's almost he's sort of up to speed. Sometimes if he loses it, we don't know. But when he wins them, we usually see the performance that follows is far better.
Here he comes, the phenomenon that is Luke Littler.
The reigning and defending Premier League champion. He is the reigning champion of the world.
Everybody take a shot. Red light. Green light.
It's Luke.
Give me everything you got. Red light. Green light. Everybody take a shot. Cause I'm ready to go.
So what is interesting, Murph, you've been around the game long enough, how the demographic of the fans has changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing a lot more young people come in to enjoy the darts, and maybe people that have never ever been before but have watched it on TV and thought, I want a bit of that.
It's that crossover, isn't it? You're
Yes.
getting football fans, boxing fans, people who really didn't know about darts until Luke Littler's story captivated the imagination of, well, not just the nation, but it happens around the world. You've been in Austria recently, and no different there, is it?
No, that was. I've not been to that venue before, or that country, and I was gobsmacked. A bit like when I went to Poland. I mean, there was an enormous crowd, over 12,000.
I have to say, by the way, I was having the exact same thought as you, that Littler seems to have been vulnerable in quarter-finals in the Premier League campaign, and once he gets past that, he's like a rocket ship, isn't he?
Yeah.
Off he goes.
Once he gets momentum, he seems to really then have the confidence to move through the gears, as we're watching Nathan having a little boogie. He did take Luke Littler under his wing, and he's always there to give him some advice. He's certainly not sour about the inclusion of Luke being in his team.
Yeah, he's a good lad, a good honest lad.
Yes, he is.
Aspinall. As we get a look at the table here, Littler on 32 points, Humphries on 26, Price 22. Crucially, Aspinall and Van Gerwen tied on 19 in positions 4 and 5. Aspinall has won one more match than Michael Van Gerwen, but no, Van Gerwen of course did withdraw from a night when he injured himself putting his shirt on or taking it off.
Yes, he pulled a muscle in his shoulder, didn't he?
Rob Cross languishing back on 14, as we mentioned.
Not a great advert for the sport when you when you put yourself out getting dressed, is it?
Absolutely. But he will be in action in that second semi-final. Michael Van Gerwen taking on Gerwyn Price.
Just looking at some of the numbers, they met 3 times in the 2025 Premier League, and obviously, as we know, Luke's won all 3, but the difference in the average is nearly 10 points.
Yeah, week 4, 109.67. Littler in a 6-2 win against Aspinall.
Amazed he got 2.
Week 5, 100.47. Aspinall got 3. And week 7, 102.21. So never averaged lower than a ton in this year's Premier League. In fact, this year, because in the World Championship he was 101.54 as well.
I think he likes playing him. Well, there's evidence.
Early indications are good for Camp Littler, who kicks off with a, you have to say, trademark maximum in the Premier League. He hits plenty more than anybody else.
Oh, staggering amount more than anybody else. Oh, I was going to say, first leg 9. There's got a bit of history for that.
He gets booed by the Birmingham crowd after missing the 6th dart.
But it's a friendly friendly boo.
I have covered a first leg 9 on a Pro Tour, but I can't remember who did it now. That's how frequent 9 darts are hit that you forget some now. It is 96 after 9 for Luke Littler against the Aspinall throw. He sets his stall out.
100, Luke required
That ton
96.
sees the Aspinall 106. So treble 20 the target here. It could be double now. 76. He's gone for 2 double 19s, but the first dart out of the board.
56.
He does find
106.
the 36 with his second by virtue of treble 12.
How many 9s have we had so far? This.
3, is it?
Yeah,
65. Luke required 40.
Humphries.
Well, we had 2 in one night and they both lost. Rob Cross, wasn't it? And
4 then.
Yeah.
Littler, Humphries, Price, Cross.
The first leg. Luke
And Littler does take the first leg.
Second leg is Luke.
Yeah, I was saying to Mark Wilson earlier, someone made a mistake, didn't they, the sponsors, when they didn't cap the number of golden darts they could give away. 100 grand's worth so far.
Yeah, they were 30 grand a set, 120 grand.
40.
Yeah, I wonder if that person's still got a job. Now, if we said the first one, not everyone.
I don't know if you hit 2 if you get another set.
140.
140's a piece.
Someone's now running around trying to find that answer.
140's all the way through this leg so far. 2 of them for Luke Littler, 2-2-1 after 6. 1 up and with a break to boot already.
96.
Blistering start from the Nuke.
130.
265 Aspinall at the hockey. 19s. Finds a single and a treble, so we'll leave a finish as long as he stays straight. And he's got a couple of trebles, so it's 1-3-2, but he can't do anything to stop Littler on 91.
Single 3, 88 left, treble 16 for tops, for 2-0. Ooh.
39.
Leaves 52. Aspinall on that lovely showbiz shot, ball, double 16, the 1-3-2.
See him step forward and step back, something that he's kind of just built into his game now rather than fighting the struggles. He's embraced them. Found the 25 but not the treble 19, therefore no dart on the ball, and Littler comes back for 52.
Yeah, I think he's dealt with it the best way possible. It's just like you say, it's just now part of his match, double 10. Doesn't miss that very often, does he?
No 2-zip, no time at all for Littler. Aspinall on the money with his first dart, treble 20. But only scores 85. That's turned into a disappointing visit, and Littler will be ready to jump all over it.
81.
Was holding up a sign on the edge of his walk on, wasn't he? It said something about United, and I think he'd be quite happy with United tonight.
Yes, he will be. He's quite sure where it's come from, but
100.
3-0 up. I think it's still 3-0. I've not heard our colleague say anything. Yeah, 88th minute, 3-0. Brentford beat Forest 2-0. Spurs 3-1 up with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, looking like an all-English final in the Europa League. Will it be a Dutchman or a Welshman taking on an Englishman in tonight's Premier League Darts final? All-English semi-final here, 136 Aspinall. Can't find it, so Littler looking at 158, and it would really be a gut punch of this. Aspinall waiting on double 4.
Nathan, you require 8.
Usual pre-shot routine. Leans in for double 4. Finds it to halve the deficit at 2-1.
It's rattling along at some pace, this one.
Watching stroke listening live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Do subscribe. It's a brilliant page for darts fans to follow, and if you've got any questions, comments, predictions, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, there's loads and loads of content for you to enjoy when we're not live.
$100.
317 plays 316. Littler at the hockey on 317, and that's quickly going down.
180.
Another max. 3-1 to Littler in the 180 column. He's got time on his side here. 137, Aspinall 257. This is for 3-1, single 19, single 18, ton left. Top
97.
Aspinall on 257. All he can do is hit and hope. Well, he hits. Applies maximum pressure, quite literally.
Now he has to hope.
Double 10 is missed for once.
Twice. Both right on the wire.
77.
This would be some steel.
77, so treble 19 to start. If he hits a treble, he'll go for double 10 himself. If not, 18 and tops. Here's a single. So it will just be the one dart at double top. And that's all he needs. All square. Aspinall fights back. From 2-0 down to 2-2.
Fifth leg, it's Nathan to throw first. Game on.
He's lifted his game here as well, Mace. I know we're only 4 legs in, but Aspinall 103 average, so he didn't show any sign of in that
No.
duel with Dobey.
Well, I think he also would have benefited from that match just to get hockey time. Like I said, he would have flown in late yesterday after a brief family break.
Perfectly pitched first start after scoring 60 with his first visit.
123.
I feel it should have been 3 times that with his second.
They're under a little bit of pressure now.
58.
And only 58. Look tight on all 3 of those darts. In terms of doubling, Aspinall perfect, 2 from 2. 2 from 8 for Littler, down at 25% currently.
100.
Averages 102 Aspinall, 100 Littler.
133.
Treble 20 and a treble 18 in that 1-3-3 visits. 4 points ahead, Littler, but Aspinall at the hockey. 2-2 in the match. Back in the treble 20. And again. And he fills it up.
Why not? He's 38. Can Littler do the same? 80 scored. Only a ton in the end. Treble 20 was
38.
found beautifully on dart 1. He's going to split this surely.
Yeah, very much a double 16 merchant, isn't he, Nathan Aspinall? And he has it a 6 to leave that favoured target, and that's why, straight in. He now leads 3-2 and keeps up that perfect finishing record.
Bounce out. Well, a drop out, not a bounce out. They are massively different, aren't they? There was no wire involved in that one. Just literally threw the dart, identical to the initial dart, and well, there was nowhere for it to go.
This is sublime from Nathan Aspinall, showing all that fight that he's so renowned for. 140 to kick off leg 6. And that is 180 number 7 in this match.
Yeah, and some idiot whistling on dart 3, which he gave an old-fashioned look to.
Yeah, I believe a few were thrown out, weren't they, of the European tour?
Yeah, they're very much clamping down on it, which is great. And well, I'm not sure they used my particular idea of sticking 4 plainclothes security out there and literally just hover around. You'll soon spot them. People will soon point them out because it's spoiling the occasion for everybody and the enjoyment. And just take them out and give them a life ban. And listen, you start seeing that, you'll stop it, won't you?
141 went the Littler route.
85.
Treble 20, treble 17.
170.
Double 15. 170. There's only one route for Nathan Aspinall. Wasn't worth the big build-up, and he reacts himself to that dart. It slips into the 5, and Littler will return for 56.
108 left for Nathan, just confirming with the
80.
referee, Charlie Colstefine. Single 16 is found. Tops needed, 1 dart left. Oh dear.
36.
This could be a big moment, Murph.
Yeah, huge. 90 for Nathan. Treble 20, double 15. Single 20's fine. He can still end up on double 5 or even the bullseye.
All about keeping them straight.
Big moment incoming. Single 20. 70 left. Another to leave 50. That means the ball, and he's so close to it.
Well, that sound was the point hitting the wire of the bullseye.
Just to the right hand side of that bull ring in Birmingham. Littler levels on double 10.
See what you did there, man. For our non-UK viewers, it's the shopping centre, isn't it? It's called the Bull Ring. It's actually good shopping in Birmingham. I like the big shops there.
140.
Who will be the best in Brum tonight? Littler levelling up at 3-3. Aspinall has the advantage of throw, having eliminated that 2-leg deficit at the start of this game.
40.
So close to having a 4-2 lead of his own.
Yeah, and that would have, of course, given him a breaker throw.
60.
Only 60 from Luke. 3-4-1 plays Aspinall on 3-2-1, and Aspinall's been ahead in the averages for the entirety of this one. It's still the case now. 97.98 Littler, 101.5 Aspinall. Good standard.
Really good, and Littler's increasing that standard with his 5th maximum of this contest to leave 161.
140.
Approaching 140, 180s. Not sure if he can get to 180. 180s could. Never say never with this kid.
59.
Challenge him, and I think he might give it a good go. 81 for Aspinall. Littler on 102. Right. Check out that Price took out to beat an unfortunate Luke Humphries.
Yeah, that must have hurt.
Another go at the ball, and this time he's missed the other side, left-hand
He's
side.
gone around that bullseye like a second hand on the clock. Yeah, everything but the bullseye.
82 remaining. Treble 14 was the correct route with 2 darts in hand, but he couldn't find that treble. So Aspinall returns for the remainder, 25.
9-8. That was that area of the board next to the double 16. The 9 is bang in the middle. Always a good sign, that.
And as you will have heard, Aspinall wasted no time in hitting the double 8. So he leads 4-3, 2 away from a final.
59.
Nathan Aspinall, who won in Manchester night 10 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's very much his home venue, isn't it?
One of 3 final appearances for him this year. Also made it in Dublin
Yeah,
and
he's had
Brighton.
He's had a decent campaign for me. Not saying he was
98.
necessarily overlooked, but there's always a worry with Nathan with injury.
He gave some frank opinions on it. He said he'd rather they just pick the top 8 and avoided that controversy. But if I've been given the place, then I'm going to take my chance, and that's what he's done. Another 180. He's getting closer, Mace.
So that's 6 in this one.
Certainly is, yeah. For Littler, who's on 164 as a result, and he's going to have 6 starts at it with Aspinall on 250. Did hit the treble 20, switched across to the treble 18, which suggests
96.
he would have gone for it. 250 for the Asp. He does lead the match 4-3.
130.
Just in case, leaves 120, 68 Littler for 4-4. Single 16, single 12, tops.
48.
Low, not for the first time.
They're struggle on tops in this game. Littler, Aspinall will hope to leave it here. The Shanghai shots, treble and single, either way round to get a dart at tops. Oh, must be blocking it. It's low on the treble 20.
Yeah, it's always going to be awkward.
43.
Is there an argument for trying the
Bull.
audacious bull, yeah? Law of averages would say he has to hit it sooner or later. Littler, though, hits double 10, and in doing so, ties up what's been a really decent darting duel at 4 apiece.
Yeah, now a best of 3. This will get twitchy.
100.
Live coverage of Premier League Darts for you, courtesy of talkSPORT, live right now on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, all building up
140.
to the playoffs at the O2. talkSPORT will be there.
57.
4 apiece in this first semi-final between Luke Littler and Nathan Aspinall. Was holding on to that advantage of throw. Could have been different. Littler looked like he was going to race away when he went 2-0 up. Aspinall missed a dart at the ball to go 4-2 up himself.
He's got to be careful here. A break, a throw for Littler would be a disaster. And he's found 2 treble 20s. Oh, I think it was in the treble 1, Murph.
Yeah, the 2
ended
darts,
up on the floor.
2 darts in the treble 20 were over in that
corner.
Treble one corner, and the replay confirmed that Chris Mason's eagle eyes are still in good
60.
tact.
If not a little tired.
Another treble 20, but then another drifting dart into the one segment.
Great recovery. Found the trouble with dart 3 to take him down to 103. Littler 260. How many times have you seen him convert that in 6? But not this time, only 45.
The 103 with no pressure on it for Nathan Aspinall. The 19 leaves 84. Treble 20 leaves double 12. Will return for that target.
Just a ton. So still wants 115. So Aspinall to go within 1. 2 12s. I fancy this, Murph.
One high. Next one in. I think there was a little bit of a shout or a whistle. Aspinall has taken umbrage to it, but it didn't stop him delivering the dart in the double. I think it's actually a fan off his seat wearing a Nathan Aspinall shirt, trying to give him some encouragement, but had the adverse effect. Nathan Aspinall maybe not as friendly towards the fan as the fan is towards him there.
No, I'm not sure if his name's Rick or something.
You draw your own conclusions.
What a lovely max from Littler. Desperate to take this to a decider, of course. Good response from Aspinall. 2 treble 19s on cover. Doesn't follow the max. Does with the dart. 2 and 3, 180, 140, and a leg you've got to win is Dreamland Darts.
And whatever happens tonight, they've stood up to Luke Littler, haven't they?
100.
6-5 against Bunting. Looks like going the distance against Aspinall here.
Single 20. Finds the trouble. He tried to really slam that one in. He's left 81 after 9 in a leg. He had to win on throw.
Aspinall applying the pressure just in case. Treble 20, treble 19, single 18 to leave 132.
Will it all be in vain? 72 remaining. Went for 2 double 18s after hitting a treble 3, going for treble 17. So Aspinall, well, this would be some way to win it, especially his trials and tribulations on the bullseye.
Yeah, 132 for a place in the final. Big deep breath, full focus on the centre of the board. 25's fine with the first start, and that's what he's got, but he's blocked that ball. How on earth does he get this?
To be like Phil Taylor's one against James Wade in the match play.
Well, you can try going left, you can try going right. He might even have to stand on the table.
Not sure that's in the rules, mate.
This would be the dart of the season, and he's not far away. I think he thought it was in.
Yeah, well, when it's left his hand, he'd have watched the flight of the dart and thought, well, I've got a chance. No mistake from Littler. 5-5. Aspinall just missing the ball on 132 for the match 6-4. Well, he was 50 points away from a place in the final. Now he's 501 points away.
So close. He does have the darts in the decider. Another gutsy display from Nathan Aspinall, who's managed, as he so often does, to just wring every last drop of talent out of himself to keep the pressure on Littler throughout the game. It's only a 100 start though, and Luke Littler, well, I thought he was going to go into beast mode and hit what would have been an 8th maximum then. It's a 140 he settles for.
Felt like it was more likely than not, or in a treble 20, and then a really pulled, shanked single 1. 81. Only 81, so Littler ready to pounce. Finds the treble 20. Doesn't follow it.
85.
Ooh, he's got away with it there, Murph.
Absolutely. Nothing between them in the averages, nothing between them in the match. 5 apiece. 276 Littler, but Aspinall at the hockey. 320. Single 20. Treble 19. Great cover.
96.
96. Is it enough?
Down to 224. 276. Trebleless so far.
56.
Failed to heed the cover on 19s and 17s. 220 Littler, 224 Aspinall. Couldn't be more tightly poised.
No, and he's just muttering away to himself, Luke Littler. He knows he's in another brilliant battle in Birmingham. 100 gets Aspinall down to a similar shot to the one he just tried for, albeit slightly easier, where you won't have the same trouble. But Littler has found 3 big trebles at the right time to leave 46.
That was classic. Well, is he going to get a dart at that bullseye? That has been... Oh, he's not. It's treble 1. So that should be that.
88.
He's shown a great fight.
46.
Taken Littler the distance, but 46 for Littler to nick it at the death. His favourite double 10 is nailed, and Luke Littler snatches it away from Nathan Aspinall in the end. It could have been a sensational victory for the Asp, but his win tally against the defending Premier League champion remains at just 1 victory. He tried everything to get past him, Mace, but once again Littler found that big visit at the right moment, and you have to say that's what won him the match.
Yeah, great players do great things, and they seem to just have that ability to find timing, to find those shots, and he did exactly that with that 174. I thought Nathan might get a go at another bullseye on the 124, but just strayed slightly to the right into the treble 1. So we know one of our finalists now, Murph, and well, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, Luke Littler through with another 6-5 win tonight, this time against Nathan Aspinall. But coming up next, Gerwyn Price, who won last week in Liverpool, takes on a resurgent Michael van Gerwen. And when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dark Web Monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So, as we said, 1 finalist confirmed, and it is, of course, Luke Littler looking for another victory in the Premier League 2025. Will it be Michael van Gerwen or Gerwyn Price who joins him? Find out here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel.